Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be taking you through the process of how I manage my money after getting my first big girl job. Quick disclaimer, most of the knowledge that I picked up is either through Google or YouTube. Growing up, I was never really a financially responsible person, and to be honest with you, I wouldn't even check my checking account balance or my credit card statements because I just didn't want to face the reality of seeing how much money I was wasting, how much money I was spending, and how much debt I was putting myself into. And honestly, it was a very bad mindset to have because that's exactly how you end up in debt. When you ignore it, it doesn't make the problem go away. It just kind of builds on top of one another. Getting better control of my finance has become a priority for me. This is my way of making sure that I'm able to reach my long-term goals. Let's say I know that I want a house. I want to make sure by the time I'm ready for the things in the long term, I'm financially ready for it and I'm financially able to afford it. So getting better control of my finances not only just helps me reach my long-term goals, but it also helps me create a healthier relationship with money. Overall, I just hope to be able to pass on this knowledge that I'm able to learn throughout this time of my life to my kids, as well as right now in this moment, I hope that I'm able to help at least one person become more financially responsible, learn something about budgeting, and hopefully just being able to reach your long-term finance goal. One mistake I used to make is just leaving my paycheck in my checking account and then pay my bills as I go with really no direction of how I want to spend this money, where this money is going. I was just swiping my card, paying the bills. Once it's out, it's out. What I have left is what I have left. And in my opinion, that's a very bad habit to just leave your money in your checking account with no direction, with no purpose. This is where budgeting comes into play. And I use a zero-based budget. And essentially what that is, you budget your paycheck, and by the time you are finished budgeting everything that you plan on doing with your paycheck, you should have $0. So basically every dollar is accounted for. This method has really allowed me to get a hold of my spending. Even though after I budget my money I have $0, that doesn't mean that I don't have any money to spend on myself. That money is also budgeted into my paycheck. If you would like a more in-depth guide to budgeting, please go ahead and check out this video. It's either going to be over here or over here. So I'm a visual person, and for some reason I get really excited about seeing my budget just written out. It has to be pretty, it has to be aesthetically pleasing. That's just how I am. It motivates me to want to look at my budget and want to be responsible with my money. And I love when budgeting takes very little effort, so I try to make it as easy as possible. Anything that I use, I try to make sure that it's straight to the point, very simple, like there's nothing complicated about it. So I have a checking account it's Bank of America, so you can always look there and set your budget. It even has something where you can type in your monthly income, and then you can see what your current spending habits are. Back. And then you can see how much you've already spent. You can see the categories of where you spent your money. And let's see, trends of how much money is coming into your account, how much you're spending. Very simple, and definitely if you don't want to pen and paper everything, then this is also a way that you can budget. And for my savings account, I have Ally, and I prefer the online savings account because you get so much more for your APY per year. But what I particularly love about Ally is the fact that you can create buckets for your money. So if you're saving towards a goal, you can always have those that are there, and you can change them how you want. You can set a goal. You don't have to set a goal. You can set a target date if you want. And yeah, so here you can set a goal. You can distribute money between buckets. It's actually really pretty simple, and I have 2 of these accounts. I also want to acknowledge that I do have a 401k and I have an HSA account, so I consider those to be savings, of course. So, but those money come out of my paycheck before my paycheck hits the bank, so I don't really necessarily calculate those into my budget. So on Payday, you want to go ahead and start putting in the numbers. So this particular system or budgeting method that I'm using is in the form of Google Sheets, and this was something that I purchase off of Etsy. I think it was probably like $4 or something like that. I absolutely love it. It has everything that I need. So we have a log. This is where you log everything that you're spending or anything that you're saving. This is the budget, and I have a monthly overview. So this is the month of February. This is March. I've already started budgeting for March. We have a calendar that tells your bills. I don't really use this one as much because I have this one that tells me my payday, and it tells me my bills and exactly how much I need to pay for each bill. I have a sinking funds, where this is the sinking funds that I have on my Ally account, the little buckets that you saw, where I have my car servicing. I have to have a sinking fund for car service because my car is older, so I'm trying to save as much money as I can so I can get certain things fixed, because I do plan on selling it by the end of this year. But I'm the type of person, I want to make sure that it's in good condition when I sell it, because, you know, you're buying a car and they're hoping that this is a long-term thing. I have my vacation sinking fund. I have a sinking fund for my dog, a new car, because like I said, by the end of this year, I do want to purchase a new car, a house. This is going to be for next year. And I have my wedding, which is in April. Once the wedding's over, this is going to go away. Photographer, also for my wedding in April. We have savings account that I have back home in Jamaica. And then I have my CEUs for my license. I'm a physical therapist, so I have to do CEUs every 2 years, and then my emergency fund. So, and then I have my bi-weekly. So this is my paycheck method. So the paycheck starts on the 24th. I got paid yesterday, which was the 24th. Today's the 25th, and it ends on the 10th, which is when I get my next paycheck. So the next one will start on the 10th and end on the following 24th of the month. The first thing I do is check my email on that Friday to make sure that I did get paid, and just to check to see how much money I got paid. Once I know that number, I automatically put it into my transactions for income, and it generates into my budget. So if you see here, let me delete this. So I take that out there, but then I log it to 007.90, and then it automatically pops in. So what I'm budgeting, as you can see, I had planned $1983. I kind of had an idea that I was going to get paid around $2,000, so I made sure that my budget was less than $2,000. Now, budget and tip. You never want to budget more than you never want to budget your actual income. So, because you never know if you need to play around with the numbers before you get paid, or once you get paid, you never know what can happen. You always want some sort of cushion. So if you know you're going to get paid $900, then you want to try to budget or stay within the budget of $800. So do not budget the exact $900. And here I was running pretty close. Usually I budget $1,900 or $1,800, but this month I just had a few extra stuff that I had to deal with, so I had to go ahead and budget closer to how much I get paid. Once my income comes in, I'll start paying expenses such as rent, phone bill, car insurance, gas, groceries, etc. I know that I bought gas yesterday. So I bought gas yesterday and it was $37.86. So this is where you log that, and it was an expense, gas. And then it shows up over here on how much I actually spent. So next I'm going to go ahead and do the bills portion. So I'm going to go ahead and transfer that money over to wherever it is supposed to be. And once I do that, I go ahead and put it in. Here it's also calculating how much I'm spending so far and how much I have left, right? So next, let's go ahead and do my debt payment. We have 100 for Discover, 180 for Apple, and then 153 for Wells Fargo. So let's go ahead and do that. So then I'll transfer the money that for the things that I'm saving for. Currently it's my wedding, and I need to save the final payment for my photographer. This is where Ally comes in, and you can You can connect your current checking account to the Ally savings account, and what happens is you can just create a transfer for that money to go into Ally. Or yes, for that money to go from your checking account into Ally. And like I was saying earlier, I prefer online banking because they provide a higher APY. And right now, I believe Ally, if it's not 3.3%, that was what I saw the last time, but it might be up to 3.7%. So if you're saving money, you might as well gain more interest on that money than you would if you were to put it into like Bank of America or Wells Fargo or those big brick and mortar banks. So far we've entered in all my savings, and if you go to my sinking fund, you'll see that these have all changed. I don't know if you saw it before, but believe me when I tell you, these have changed. So it says saved here 215, 552, 40. I put 16 and 60. So you don't have to do anything there. That is automatic. Definitely helpful for keeping track of your savings. Let's see. So we did all our savings except for this. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. We've done my bills. We've done my expenses except for a couple. And I'll be going grocery shopping on Tuesday, so we'll do that then. And then we did all my debt. But I still have $410 left. So let's go ahead and finish these little ones up, and then we'll see exactly how much we have left. Okay, so once I'm done putting everything in, I like to look down here at the bottom where it has the total and just make sure that I pretty much paid everything, or that it's equal, or either less or more, but it shouldn't be drastically less. So after I've entered groceries and Kylo expenses, I have $102.54 left. I know 25 of that I'm supposed to be saving for my allowance, so I have 25 left for allowance. So really I only have 50 something dollars left after all this, and usually I would put like any extra I have towards my credit cards, but we're just gonna go ahead and we're just gonna leave that extra $50 for now because it's $50. If it was like $100, then I would have probably like maybe put $80 on credit card and then save the extra 20. But I have a lot of unplanned expenses possibly coming up within the next 2 weeks, so I would prefer to just save that money and leave it in my bank account and use it for anything that may come up. So I would just add that into my allowance budget. So the allowance will, and like miscellaneous will increase, the actual will increase once I log any extra spending that I have for the next 2 weeks. So that's that. In terms of debt, so like if you prefer to notice that I paid everything today, like usually I pay the same day that I get paid. A lot of people, they prefer to pay it on the day that the bill is due. If you want to do that, you can always set up your credit cards on auto pay and it'll automatically just take that money out. My credit cards are set up on auto pay just in case my dementia hits me and I forget to pay it. It's on auto pay, so I know on the due date that payment will come out regardless. For the credit card that I'm trying to pay off, I leave that to pay it last because, like I said, any extra money that I have, I will go ahead and put that on that debt because the goal is to pay it off. And once I'm not saving for so much, such as the wedding, the photographer, then I'll have those extra money that I can throw onto my debt because the goal is to pay off that one credit card by the end of June. So overall, whichever method of budgeting you choose, your payday should be as stress-free as possible. I hope that you're able to gain some insight from this video, and even if I'm only able to help just one person, I consider that a success. I don't care how long this video takes me to edit. I don't care how many views it gets. If that one person views it and they find some helpful information and they're able to make some changes around, then that's definitely a success for me. The main point that I want you to take away from this video is to make sure that you're not budgeting more than you get paid. That's exactly how you set yourself up for failure. There's nothing worse than planning money that you think you're gonna get and then you don't get it. Thank you guys for watching. If you found this video helpful, subscribing would mean a lot to me. It just lets me know that you enjoyed the video and you want to see more of this content. If that's too much of a commitment, and trust me, I totally get it, just hit the like button. That also lets me know that you enjoyed the content and it helps me out just as much. Remember, stay motivated, stay focused, and I'll see you guys in the next one.